Okay, hello. Another Facebook Live. The first one for this week. First one for this week. We'll wait just before I start the topic. I'll just wait till I get somebody who can confirm that my microphone is working. I've got a new microphone, and I've been testing it, so I just want to make sure that it's working fine. All right. Okay. Is there anybody there that can tell me that they can hear me? Can they confirm that? Can you confirm that you can hear me? Yes, you can confirm. That would be great. Hang on. Wait, lost something. Here we go. So who have we got here? Charles. Hi, Charles. Cameron, can you hear me? Can you just confirm that you can hear my voice? I have a trusty new microphone. Well, I hope it's trusty. You can. Thank you, Charles. That's great. I've got it resting on my laptop. There it is there. Actually, I wrote a post last night that I posted it on a couple of my groups that I run, and it was about tools and how valuable tools can be. I'm talking about tech type tools, right? And so I'm thinking this is a pretty good tool. This is, having a microphone that's of reasonable quality can definitely help. So it's good to know that you can hear me and you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, before we get started on this great topic, I think it's a great topic anyway. Let me just welcome some other people here. Charles has said hi to you. Connie, hi Connie. I've just been chatting with you on Messenger just a minute ago. Yeah, that's great. Diane Tierney. Hi Diane, haven't seen you for a while. Vinny, hi Vinny, good to have you on board. Rebecca, hi Rebecca. Cameron, great. Okay, all right. Well, let's get started. Before I share with you these 5 points, and by the way, it's not meant to be a negative topic. Not at all. Not at all. The 5 marketing mistakes that even smart marketers make. That's not negative because if we can learn, I mean, I've made mistakes over the years from a marketing perspective, going back 12 years. I've had plenty of opportunities to kick some goals, and I have kicked some big goals, but I've also had, there have been plenty of situations where I've made mistakes. I've been, traveling up the wrong pathway, and after a month or 2 months, the penny finally drops. This is not working. I better do something else, right? So, but if I didn't identify that mistake, if I didn't identify the problem, how could I fix it? How could I make amends? How could I, strike out in a new direction? I couldn't. So this is not a negative topic to identify mistakes. It's a very positive thing because awareness is the first step towards improvement and towards a better tomorrow. So that's why I'm featuring it. I think it's a really important topic. But before I start with the topic, just a quick intro from me about my situation. I've been online since 2006. I've been doing it for 12 years. I've sold millions of dollars worth of products. It's not bragging. I'm just saying that, listen, if you hang around long enough, you're probably going to do okay. That's all I'm saying. I don't sell millions of dollars in a year. I've sold millions of dollars over the years. Okay, so I'm just an average person in many respects. But I guess my drive is above average, perhaps, But so it's been good, and I was able to quit the rat race, the daily commute, after 2 months, 60 days, and I've been making a good living most of the time since then. And for the last 5 years, I've been a digital nomad. I've been exploring different cultures, different parts of the world, particularly in Asia. So that's my story. And even my 2 sons, my beautiful sons, they're doing the same thing. It's I don't know whether I followed them in their footsteps or they followed in mine, but we're all in Asia at the moment. It's amazing. And it's great to be close with the family. Okay, who else have we got? We'll get started with this topic. Bill, hi Bill. Rebecca already said hello to you. Now, okay, let's get started. The 5 mistakes that even smart marketers make. Now, not the definitive list. It's not the complete list. It's not the exhaustive list. I bet there are other mistakes as well that I've observed over the years, looking at my own situation, but also, because I work with a lot of people. I don't do so much marketing myself now. I'm more into helping other people with their marketing problems. But so I'm an observer. I watch what people do. I've always been very keen observer of people. I'm a keen student of human nature and all the rest of it. I'm also interested in psychology and things like that because I'm curious about what makes people tick. All right. So I see things that people do and I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking, why the heck are they doing that? And, if they're open to listening to me, okay, I'll give them some advice, but only if they're leaning forward and they want that advice. Lots of people just sort of carry on blissful ignorance. And they wonder why after 6 months or a year or 2 years or whatever it is, why they're not making money. In fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday on Facebook Messenger, and I just asked her, she's a nice lady, she's been a Facebook friend of mine for a while, and I checked the previous conversation that I had with her, and it was in early last year, like March, April last year. And I was saying, okay, well, it's now 18 months later. I wasn't quite saying it like this, but my thinking was, it's now 18 months later. Are you making money? 18 months, right? And she's candid and honest. She said, no, I'm not. Right. So what's going on here? What's happening? How can 18 months in a person's life? That's a big chunk. 18 months. How can that amount of time elapse? And they're still not making money. If that was me, I'd be putting a gun to my head. No, I'm only kidding. But I'm just saying, I just cannot comprehend that. I've gone for weeks without making money, but not 18 months, all right? And I know that there are other people out there that have probably been struggling for 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, all right? So something's up. And so let's get on. Let's have a look at these 5. These are the 5 that I just thought of, the 5 that I've noticed recently. Not the definitive list. Sorry, still recovering from a cold, but I should be okay. As long as my voice can hold up. All right, so let's look at number 1. Flitting like a butterfly. Flitting like a butterfly. I see that as a mistake often. In other words, and you've probably heard it before, but in other words, many people don't have staying power. They do kind of flit like a butterfly from one thing to another, one idea to another, one strategy to another, one program. They join a money-making program, okay, and it doesn't work after a month, they're gone. Some of them start tuning out after a few days. A few days after they joined, their brain is starting to wander. Oh, this looks like hard work. This looks like something that, the self-doubt starts to creep in, okay? And before you know it, they're gone. They may not quit in actuality. In other words, make a formal resignation and quit that program and let the company know, but they just quit mentally, right? And they've moved on to something else. Flitting like a butterfly. And if you're a team builder, you've probably seen this happen many, many, many times. Most people don't have much staying power. And that's a shame, because assuming that the thing that they joined is a quality kind of a program, quality opportunity, all they have to do is hang in there and persevere and give wholeheartedly to that program for 3 to 6 months, and they'll probably be sitting on cloud 9. They'll be on clover. So flitting like a butterfly. Do you recognize that in you? Is that an issue that you need to do something about? If yeah, okay, well then we could ask the next question, why? Why do you do it? Why do other people do it? Why? Well, I think it often comes back to lack of belief, more often than not. Just lack of belief. They just, they don't believe they're going to make it. They don't believe it's going to happen for them. And And because they're trying to protect their ego, you know, sometimes I call it the phony baloney ego syndrome, right? Phony baloney ego syndrome. They're trying to protect their ego. They don't want to look internally. They rather look externally, right? So they get into, sometimes, not always, but sometimes they get into namers and blamers mode. It's the company. This is a crap product. I didn't realize it was a crap product before I joined. Well, why didn't you evaluate it before you joined? Okay. I didn't realize. So, or my sponsor is an idiot. Well, didn't you know the sponsor was an idiot before you joined? It's the same thing, you know. So they look for scapegoats. We call it the scapegoating phase. And they never want to sort of look internally and say, well, hang on, I keep jumping from one thing to another. Maybe it's me. Maybe I got the problem. So we've got to come to that realization and say, well, okay, it's me. I've got to do something about it. So I've got to look inwards. And that's the only way you can really move forward and fix a problem, I think. We have to look inwards and we have to confront ourselves sometimes. Okay, who else have we got here? Bill, yeah, hi Bill. Sotho, hey Sotho, my Cambodian friend. Sanjeev, hi Sanjeev. Adrian, hi Adrian, haven't spoken to you for a while. Okay, so that's number one, flitting like a butterfly from one thing to another. What's the next one? Working, okay, what is it? I've got my note thing here, working on, oh yeah, working on the wrong things, So they're not clear about the income producing activities that they must be engaged in on a daily basis. So sometimes they get involved with what we might call busy work. Okay, busy work. Busy work doesn't pay the bills, right? Saying hi to your friends and all that, that's great, but it doesn't necessarily pay the bills. What pays the bills is to be involved with sales producing activities. So if you're using Facebook, for instance, it's about using the Messenger app effectively, and using it in a commercially oriented way. Sure, you be nice, you be friendly and all the rest of it, but you need to have some purpose. You need to have some commercial purpose for it to work. That's an income producing activity. So we focus on the right things, the things that make us the money. If you're an email marketer, okay, you write a compelling email with an offer and a call to action. You don't just give people pure value, you include some kind of an offer at the end of the email, and you can do it in such a way that you won't alienate your subscribers, but at the same time sends a message to them that, hey, you're here for business. Okay, so working on the wrong things. Busy work, pleasant work, but not necessarily effective and productive work. So that's another thing that I've noticed over the years with many people. They're unclear about what are the real activities that they need to be involved with, or even if they are clear about it, they avoid them because they're not comfortable doing those activities. So if that's you, maybe what you should do is to figure out why you're uncomfortable. Identify the reason, the underlying reason. Figure out why you're uncomfortable, and then perhaps you can move forward and fix the problem once and for all. So that's number two. Number three is yeah. Can't even read my own writing here. Oh yeah, spending too much time on traffic, spending too much money rather on traffic and leads. Yeah. So this is for people who, particularly high ticket marketers who perhaps in the past or even now have, because they've got a high margin when somebody buys their product and make good money, they think, okay, I can justify spending money on advertising. If you're a small ticket, say affiliate marketer or something like that, you may not be able to justify spending money on ads because you're only making $20 or whatever it happens to be per sale. But if you've got a good lifetime value of a customer situation, sometimes you can justify spending money on advertising. And by the way, I'm not against advertising. I've done very well with advertising. Admittedly, I haven't spent any real money on advertising for more than 2 years, but it's because I don't really need to so much now. But in the past, yeah, I've spent money on advertising, But I've noticed a lot of people who spend money on advertising, particularly, let's say, Facebook ads, they don't do very well with it. And more often than not, they lose money. And this is a problem. Definitely a problem for some people. So you either quit spending the money on advertising and fully embrace organic free methods, or you figure out what the heck you're doing wrong. Once again, you've got to look internally. You can't blame the platform. You can't blame Facebook or whatever platform it is that you're using for your paid advertising. You've got to look internally and say, okay, what do I need to do here? What's wrong? Is it the headline that's weak? Is it the photo that I'm using? Is that not strong enough? You've got to analyze every single element, every micro element, and make some changes. Make one change and then test it. Make another change, then test it, and so on. But I know people. In fact, I think I've probably got people on this call right now who have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on advertising, and have not succeeded. In fact, I've had some people that I've worked with in the past who have spent more than $5,000-$10,000 on advertising and have not made a cent. Zero. Not made a cent. Yet when I started working with them on using free organic strategies, they started making sales within often within a month or 6 weeks, something like that. So there was a problem with the way they were doing their advertising mainly. So we don't blame the advertising platform. We just say, well, what is it that I need to change? So that's number 3. I've noticed that one quite often. And who else have we got here? Connie, yeah. Connie says, yeah, I have been guilty of that no more. That's right. Connie switched over to fully embrace organic strategies, free organic strategies. Hi, Joseph. Good to see you. Lorraine, haven't spoken to you for a while. Great to see you. Ross. Hi, Ross, from the man from down under. Hi, Ross. Okay, number 4. Thinking the internet is about tech and not people. All right. This is a big one for some people. A lot of people are attracted to the world of internet marketing because they like the idea of portability. They like some of them aspire to do what I'm doing, traveling and making an income consistently whilst I'm traveling. They like that. Great, me too. But another reason why some people are attracted to the internet is because they think that the traditional laws of business are somehow miraculously suspended, right? They don't apply to the internet. So in the offline world, to do business, to find customers, it's all about engaging with people, talking with people, cultivating people, sometimes approaching people about your offer or whatever it happens to be. That's the offline world. We know that. We know that's how it works. It's all about people. One connection to another. Okay, so let's say you're in MLM or something like that, and you're doing it offline. It's all about you talking to people every single day, isn't it? It's not about tech. It's about people and your ability to communicate with people. That's what it's about. So some people get attracted to the internet because they think, like I said before, somehow miraculously all of those offline rules don't apply. Well, of course, if we think logically and rationally about it, it's baloney, because people will not buy a product, particularly if there's a reasonable, costs a reasonable amount of money, or it requires some kind of a commitment. It may not necessarily be financial, a big financial commitment, but another commitment in terms of time, involvement, etc. People are not going to do it unless they have some kind of a relationship with the person who is wanting to make the sale. So the reality is that the internet is just a platform. It's just another way to find people. That's all it is. So let's get rid of all of this highfalutin stuff and all this mumbo jumbo stuff. It's just another way of finding people. And once you've found some people, then you're gonna have to cultivate them, engage them, draw them to you. Otherwise, if you don't do that, they're gonna go somewhere else. Okay, someone else will grab them for their offer, their product, whatever. So it's still about connection. It's just that we don't necessarily go and see them face to face. We do it online. We use Messenger. We use Skype. We use Zoom. You know, we use technology to connect with people, but it's still very much a personal thing. It's still very much a personal thing. So it's not so much about technology. It's still about people. It's about people, connectivity, connecting with real people who have real issues, real problems, real concerns, real dreams. How can you solve them? That's what it's going to come back to every single time. So that's number 4. And then finally, we got number 5, and by no means least, number 5, not playing the messaging game. Okay, this one's a bit obscure, but I'll clarify, and hopefully you kind of concur. Not playing the messaging game, not messenger. I'm not talking about the tool called Facebook Messenger. I'm talking about the generic word messaging. Because in my book, it's all about messaging. It's all about it. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. So whether you're doing a Facebook Live like I'm doing right now, or whether you're writing a piece of content that you're going to post on Facebook or somewhere else, or you're writing an email, or you're writing a blog post, you're writing some kind of content, or you're recording a video. It's all about messaging, isn't it? It's all about messaging. Maybe you're running a Facebook group. How's your messaging? If you've got good messaging, you'll tend to get more engagement. And as we all know, engagement is critical, particularly if you were talking about social media. It's all about engagement, or largely about engagement. But we're not going to get engagement if we don't get the messaging right. Messaging is everything. It's everything. Even talking to somebody on the phone or on Skype, it's all about messaging. How good are you? How good are you at messaging? Yeah? Thumbs up, thumbs down, need more work, needs more work? Okay, it's ongoing. I'm always tinkering with my messaging. I never feel that I've perfected it, even though I've been doing it for a long time. I never rest on my laurels. And sometimes I'll write a piece of content, and go back and I look at it a week later, and I think, oh, why did I write that? It's stupid, right? What can I learn from that error or that misjudgment? Okay. Sometimes I'll just go and edit it. Sometimes even the next day, I'll post something on Facebook, right? And I have a look at it the next day, and I think, oh, this needs to change. I'm not happy with that. I'm going to change the headline. Sometimes I'll go back 2 hours later and change the headline because I wasn't happy with it, right? So messaging is the name of the game, and the more effective we become at messaging, the more likely it is that we're going to be successful and attract more people to us. I call it audience building, warm audience building, or tribe building. And if you want to build a tribe, you've got to be good at messaging, talking to people one-on-one on Messenger, chatting with them. Messaging, it's the name of the game. In fact, I've taught some of my closest students how to really nail it on Facebook Messenger, and we do little workshop exercises and clinics and all this sort of stuff. Why? Because it's so cotton picking important. Getting the messaging right, vitally important. So that's the last one. Not playing the messaging game as opposed to the messenger game. Not playing the messaging game and all of its permutations, all of its manifestations. If we're not playing it well, we're going to probably struggle a bit. So if you're going to focus on something, focus on your messaging, continually improving your skill. All right, so that's it. And that's the 5. We're all done with today's mini lesson. Or I guess it's a series of mini lessons. Yeah, hi Adam, how are you? All right, any feedback, any questions that you've got about some of these errors or mistakes that people make, or have there been other mistakes that you've noticed as well that I haven't covered? Yeah, if you just want to type them in there, I'll be here for another minute perhaps, and if you want to type them in there, we can air those as well. But that's basically it. Any other comments, quick comments? Quick, I'll give you 20 seconds. All right, okay, how are we doing for time? 9:21. Okay, well, I think we're just about done anyway. All right, that's it. That's it. Bye-bye. See you on the next one. I'll be back on Thursday night, North American time, Friday morning, my time, or Asia Pacific time. Or Friday lunchtime, something like that, depending on your time zone. Finally, one thing I forgot. If you're not a member of, I spoke about tribe building before, if you're not a member of the Tribe Builder community, you can join that free group and you can learn more about this kind of stuff, okay, this type of stuff. All right, Tribe Builder community, you want me to give you the link, just say yes in the box or send me a personal message and I'll give you the link. Okay, that's great. See you in a few days. Bye-bye.